Hello! Thanks for joining me for another Kids Magazine's Matter live stream. We streamed this a few minutes ago, but we're going to do it again simply because our sound was turned off. So, welcome to Kids Magazine's Matter. We are a collective of kids magazine publishers that are providing interesting content to keep you at home entertained. My name is Nikki Middleton, and I'm the publisher of Brainspace Magazine. Brainspace Magazine is about science and all of the interesting things in life like dinosaurs. We know they were large reptiles that became extinct, and some of us can name all kinds of dinosaurs, but I personally can't get enough knowledge about them. I mean, dinosaurs are amazing. Where exactly did dinosaurs live? Well, about 230 million years ago, they lived all over Earth. They lived on the ground, they lived in the skies, and in the seas. And the world was still made up of one giant landmass called Pangaea. Here's a little GIF here. But about 170 million years ago, dinosaurs were affected by Pangaea's split into two large continents called Laurasia in the north and Gondwana in the south. So you see here how they are splitting. And then the continents, we love that dinosaur, the continents split and drifted apart. And by the way, continental drift is a theory that was presented by geologist Alfred Wegener in 1910. And my friends, the amoeba people, made this very cool song about the whole thing. So I want to give thanks to Ray Hedgepeth, he's the singer, who is also a teacher, for always helping Brainspace out with some really smart, fun music about cosmology and continental drift. And here we go. I'm going to show you this video.
In the year of 1910, there was a scientist whose name was Alfred Wegener. He noticed that the continents looked just like pieces of a broken puzzle. By 1915, he called it continental drift. It caused a rift with his fellow scientists who sang, Alfred Wegener, you are a crazy man. Alfred Wegener, you are a crazy little man. They reminded him he had no proof for how or why the continents could do this. And until you show just how or why, you merely have one interesting hypothesis. Until this evidence we see, you don't have a theory. Alfred Wegener, you are a crazy man. Alfred Wegener, you are a crazy little man. In the year of 1930, on an expedition to Greenland, Wegener got caught in a blizzard. When they finally found him, it was much too late, and they buried him in an icy mausoleum. 30 years after he died, a new idea came to light. It changed the way geologists saw the world and brought continental drift back to life. Now everybody sings, yeehaw! Alfred Wegener, you are a brilliant man. Yeehaw! Alfred Wegener, you are a brilliant, brilliant man. Continental drift, Alfred Wegener's theory, continental drift. Alfred Wegener's theory, continental drift. Alfred Wegener's theory, continental drift. Alfred Wegener's brilliant.
cheers to the amoeba people for that. I love their music. So Pangea split and there was continental drift, and so paleontologists believe that dinosaurs lived almost everywhere on Pangea because we find fossils after it split everywhere, even in the Antarctic. And one of the richest fossil deposit areas in the world is in Drumheller, Alberta. A few years ago, Brainspace spoke with Dr. Don Brinkman, who is the now retired Director of Preservation and Research at the Royal Tyrrell Museum, to find out what exactly makes southern Alberta so rich in well-preserved fossils. First, Brinkman told us that the sedimentation made it so that the dinosaurs got buried. And he said that since there were many deep rivers and bodies of water during the Cretaceous period in southern Alberta, those waters acted as ideal burial ground for dinosaurs who were preserved underneath the shifting sands without being scavenged or dug up. Brinkman said that most of the stuff that they find is preserved in river sediments. Erosion is the other factor that makes Alberta a great place to find fossils. The erosion that took place after the Ice Age removed layers of rock in Alberta's badlands, exposing tons of dinosaur fossils. Could you imagine? In fact, there are probably a lot of fossils underground all over Canada, but they're covered by our plentiful forests. So we only find them in extraordinary circumstances. Another factor Brinkman says contributes to fossil discoveries are Alberta's rich oil deposits. 11% of the world's oil reserves come from Alberta. And since a lot of Alberta's land is mined for oil, dinosaurs are discovered buried beneath the earth. And we wouldn't normally have found them otherwise. So I'm going to show you some very cool fossils, real fossils. So we have here a fossil of a turtle. Turtles are some of our oldest living creatures. And then this one here is very cool. This is an ichthyosaur. And the man sitting right next to that ichthyosaur fossil, that very large ichthyosaur fossil, those are fossil plates, is Dr. Don Brinkman himself. But the most fascinating fossils are the ones that are millions of years older than the oldest dinosaur, the Ediacarans. And one type of Ediacaran was an organism that looked like a leaf, exactly like this one, that would have lived attached to the sea floor, as did most Ediacarans. But there was one that liked to get around. And this is the Aspidella. This Ediacaran was the Aspidella terranovica, and it was shaped like a disc. Squiggle trails next to their fossils show that they squirmed through the mud. So now we're going to get to the part where we do our Brainspace at Home DIY segment of our live stream. And as usual, this video itself will be made available on our channels, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and always on our website at brainspacemagazine.com. Today we're making our own fossils, and though this is not how real fossils happened, they didn't happen this quickly, or with ready-made plaster of Paris, it is fun to make. You can paint your fossils, you can hide your fossils in the garden or around your house, and hey, you can make a series of hieroglyph clues from last week's live stream for your family and friends to find them. Anyhow, let us get to our video. our video, we suggest that you use plaster of Paris. And I know that a lot of us are home and can't necessarily go out and get supplies, but there are some very, very cool, resourceful ways to make plaster of Paris. You can use glue and water, or you can use water and flour. If you use water and flour, you bake it or let it dry overnight, and then you smash it, and it turns into a substance that you can easily use for molding things like fossils. We also recommend that you use modeling clay, plasticine, or any of those types of malleable substances will work just as well. So be resourceful. You can use things other than plastic animals. You can use a lot of tiny objects to make fossils. So I hope we inspired you this morning. Check in with us next Saturday at 10 a.m. with a knife and a flower, because we will dissect and identify the parts of a flower to better understand how they eat, breathe, and reproduce just like humans do. Which reminds me that our upcoming summer issue has a very cool story on dinosaur poop. So for more on that and other free content, interesting videos, and great things to do while you're at home during this very interesting and unusual period in our very own human history, do check us out at brainspacemagazine.com. We have a lot of free content and a lot of resources available for you to learn and stay entertained with. Until then, thanks for tuning in again at Kids Magazines Matter. Check in often. Other publishers are also posting content. On Monday at 4 o'clock, Strong Magazine publisher is going to be meeting with a very cool race car driver and talking to her about what it takes to become a race car driver. Should be interesting. So until then, until next Saturday, thank you for joining, and I hope to see you then.